Hello, welcome to Ascension Arcana Tarot. This is Christine with a weekly reading for the week of June 15th. As always, this is a general collective reading, so please take what resonates and leave the rest behind. Hope you guys are doing well. I'm feeling like really peaceful. I just took a drive, so it's funny, I sat down, I'm kind of like, I feel like I'm full of fresh air and big open fields and sunset and a lovely vibe. All right, what does this collective need to know for their week? We have the Ace of Swords. We had that one in our romance reading last week. That was kind of like a pivotal card. There's like a big mental breakthrough in that reading, and I'm kind of getting a similar energy. It's funny, I was just talking about the sunset. This sort of beam of light kind of coming out here representing the enlightenment on this card is reminding me of that, like when the sun goes behind the clouds and you can really see the sun rays shining. Is it the Five of Pentacles? Yeah. Interesting. It's like this similar illumination kind of on the door here. I'm not quite sure. The Ace of... Did I call it an Ace of Pentacles or did I call it the Ace of Swords? Sorry if I misspoke. Anyways, I feel like that Ace of Swords feels really positive, and I'm kind of surprised to see the Five of Pentacles after it. What else do you want to say here? Oh man, that's pretty glorious. Yeah, okay. So I feel like that helps give me clarity on what this is about. So yeah, on the bottom here, we have the Two of Swords. I feel like that's relevant. I'll get to that in a minute. So I'm like really drawn to this sunbeam here, this beam of light, right? Like this beam of clarity. I feel like it's illuminating this door. These two cards are like super related to each other. So this beam of clarity is sort of illuminating this door. In the Five of Pentacles, a key part of this card is that this girl can just pick up the key and go through the door. But she's sort of stuck in this place of like despair. So it's almost like a self-imposed prison or like a self-imposed hell. But I feel like that Ace of Swords is like a point of clarity for you at some point this week where it's like the clouds are parting, or like I was talking about before, like the sun is behind the clouds, but there's just like these radiant beams, like, you know, coming out from around the edges of the cloud or whatever. Like there's some sort of really beautiful illumination that's going to take place for you here this week that I feel like is going to illuminate for you, like, hey, this is the door, right? This is the block. This is the place where you're stuck. Just pick up the key and go through the door, right? I feel like there's just somewhere that the universe is helping you to see kind of where it is that you're stuck. I love this with the Ten of Cups and the Chariot here. That feels so lovely to me. I feel like even the colors, so like the colors on these two are kind of pretty and they're bright enough, but these two is like this glorious like rainbow of colors, right? Like I just think they're so beautiful. So it's like things, it's funny, I was healing through this in class last week, almost moving from like a more black and white or monotone reality to like this technicolor reality, like in The Wizard of Oz, where she goes through the door of her house after she lands in Oz, right? And like the film transitions from black and white to like this beautiful color. I'm like feeling that transition here, and I feel like it's reflected in the colors of the cards. So the Ten of Cups is that emotional fulfillment. It's dreams come true. It's joy. It's family. It's happiness. It's freedom, right? And the Chariot is that determination, that like determined forward movement of really kind of harnessing your own self, harnessing your emotions, harnessing your thoughts through your own willpower, really kind of being like the captain of your own ship, right? So this is not to say, one of the meanings of the Chariot card is control. And it doesn't mean like being controlling, right? Like at the end of the day, we kind of all have to surrender to the universe because God, source, the universe, that's really what's in control, right? But the Chariot, the control that the Chariot talks about is self-control. It's like self-focus, being disciplined, being kind of mindful, right, of like any ego thoughts or places that your emotions are running away from you. So I think discipline is like maybe a better word for it than control, but it's kind of similar, right? So that's the vibes that I'm getting from those cards. This is really cool. So that Ace of Swords, that mental clarity illuminating for you the block or like the place where you can kind of have that breakthrough, and then being able to come through that door, right? I mean, I'm literally picturing this is like Dorothy in her busted up house that landed in Oz after the tornado, and she like opens the door and walks out into this Technicolor dream world where like literally all of her dreams are coming true. So the Chariot is also a card of like great success because the Charioteer has that determination. So it's like determined forward movement, success, victory, and the 10 of Cups being like dreams come true, right? I mean, that's like a beautiful reading. And the 2 of Swords here, when I looked at the bottom of the deck, I feel like it's just similar to that 5 of Pentacles where it's feeling like sort of stuck, but it's like a self-imposed stuckness, if that makes sense. Like the prison sort of exists only in your own mind. Do you have a couple more cards here for me for this message? So on this, the cards that I read on this side are sort of giving us the general energy, basic idea of like what's going on. And then the cards that we read on the other side will be kind of like advice or guidance or kind of looking forward from the universe. That guy. The 4 of Swords and the 5 of Swords. That's funny. We got the 4 of Swords card. We got the 4 of Swords card in the romance reading that I pulled last week. This is interesting. So the 4 of Swords card is all about rest. And I feel like I'm hearing restoration. So like really allowing yourself to take a break and take that time. I think in the other reading, it was about like cultivating our peace. So really taking that time to rest, relax, and work on your foundation of peace. I feel like the 5 of Swords in this deck, this is the Light Seer's Tarot. I love it because this crow is squawking in this guy's face. It's like he has a headache, right? So he's just like, ugh, and he's like, this crow's yelling at him and he's got a headache. And then this dude in the back is like this little joyful person, right? I love how the light is even going up. It just reminds me of Ascension. And he's kind of like on top of a mountain. I don't know if you can see that very well, right? So this dude's over here having a headache with the crow screaming at him. And in this deck, for me, the crows are often representing like ego or kind of ego thoughts. And then there's this guy over here like ready to be set free, right? So I feel like if you're in this collective, you're kind of working through this energy where this rest and rejuvenation of the 4 of Swords helps you release the energy of this guy. This is not a vibe that's going to be helpful to you in terms of bringing in your like Technicolor dreamland over here, right? It's this guy who gets to be in the Technicolor dreamland. I feel like this is the guy who's moved through the rest of this 4 of Swords. So it almost like on a really literal level, it feels to me like you have a headache and you just need to go take a rest. Like, don't keep yourself in that energy. Allow yourself to feel it, to move through it, right? Experience it. Don't pretend that it's not there. You don't have to do that. Experience that energy, but you can also move through it. He's relating to me a lot to the 5 of Pentacles. They just have kind of like a similar vibe to me, where it's almost like this energy of like giving up or feeling defeated. But there's no need to feel defeated. I really feel like this Ace of Swords is pivotal, especially since it's coming back after it was so important in the last reading that I did. This, whatever this illumination and this clarity is in terms of your thoughts, like it's beautiful. And I feel like this 3 of Wands talks about kind of moving forward into an adventure, right? It's like the horizon is wide open. The world is your oyster. And I feel like that's the energy that you are moving into here, as long as you're allowing yourself to feel and heal and move through those feelings of like defeat or helplessness, hopelessness, powerlessness. That's what this is illuminating and helping you move through. That's really beautiful. That's really, really beautiful. Alrighty. God, what do you have for us on this side in terms of advice or where this collective is going? That's a big chunk. That's funny. The Ace of Swords came back. I'm going to look at them. I'm not going to keep them because there's too many, but Ace of Swords, Empress, 2 of Pentacles, 4 of Cups, the Wheel, and the 3 of Cups. Nice. I feel like this is that same mental clarity, right? The Empress is, it's that same sort of, it's reminding me of Ozma, actually, since I was just talking about the Wizard of Oz, and especially with her like emerald green outfit. She's the feminine energy who manifests everything. I feel like you're choosing away from apathy, which is that similar energy again to the 5 of Pentacles and the 5 of Swords and the Wheel. The Wheel like turns and changes everything, and then there's a reason for celebration. That's really beautiful. I'm curious about the Wheel. I'm feeling that energy is important here. So the Wheel of Fortune, excuse me, can be the universe sort of intervening if you are kind of going astray or like a little bit off the path. The universe kind of coming in and setting things right. And it's feeling related to the Ace of Swords for me. Like I kind of wonder if whatever this mental clarity is that you receive, if it's just sort of like a spark from the universe or kind of comes out of nowhere. There we go. Ah, that's very sweet. We got the Lovers as the first card. Let's see if this is about romance or choices here. What else you got for this collective, God? I like that angel energy and the Lovers in this deck. For me, it feels very divinely guided. So I was literally just talking about sort of like this divine intervention of the Wheel of Fortune, and then we have this like angelic figure, right? So that's really beautiful. I do feel like that's love. If you are on your twin flame journey or in a romantic connection, it could be that this block that you're working through has something to do with that, with your union or with your relationship. The Page of Cups, that's so sweet. It's funny, I just posted a reading the other day talking about how your cup is coming in, and she's just like so cute holding out this cup with this fish in it. I love that. She just feels really sweet to me, but all that water. So this is a card of the cups, right? Sorry, I don't want him to be distracting. The cups in the tarot are all about emotion. And I feel like this wave of water feels like a lot. For me, just reading it, the energy of that wave is like very a lot. So I kind of feel like whatever this breakthrough is might be very emotional for you, but I feel like in a really joyful and sweet way. Especially with that 10 of Cups in the Chariot there, like it just feels like this big love energy coming in. And especially since this is kind of where you've been feeling stuck, is like this 5 of Pentacles and this 5 of Swords energy is kind of just a crummy place. Like I feel depression, I feel despair from those cards. Like I was saying before, hopeless, helpless, like kind of giving up, like you don't want to be bothered. That's kind of an energy of the 5 of Swords there. Yeah. So I feel like if you've been sort of down in the dumps and then all of a sudden you have this beautiful illumination and this breakthrough, I feel like that's what it's going to feel like, is like this joy or this beautiful energy, but it might feel like a lot, right? Kind of like a lot coming at you. So what I'm almost imagining in my mind's eye is like, if this big wave is coming at you and you're in the ocean, you kind of have to brace yourself, right? I don't know that I'd be even standing that close to it. I'd probably be running closer to shore. But you have to kind of judge and assess and like get yourself ready for it, right? So I feel like one of the messages here is get yourself ready for like this big swelling joy sort of like flowing into your life like this wave. It's beautiful. The Knight of Swords and the Six of Pentacles. So when I just pulled those cards, my inner voice just said it's an incoming message of balance. So that's really interesting. I feel like, yeah, I kind of feel like it's that feeling I was getting before from the Wheel of Fortune, that you've been going through this more difficult time, right? You've been having a hard time. You've been persistent and really trying and kind of working towards that breakthrough, right? And I feel like at some point, as long as you don't give up and you keep believing in yourself and you keep loving yourself and you're persistent about your healing and your inner work, I feel like at some point the breakthrough just has to come and like it kind of balances, right? Takes you out of this energy. And as you heal that, it leaves space for all of that love to flow in. And I feel like that's what's happening. The Ace of Wands is at the bottom. And the Knight, I don't always love the Knight of Swords because sometimes he can be a message kind of harshly delivered, but I feel him very lovely in this reading. He feels to me very much like the Ace of Swords energy, where he really is just coming in with that clarity. He's like a champion of clarity. I'm totally digging his energy. I don't know that I've ever felt this about the Knight of Swords before. I'm like super into his energy right now. He's like a champion of clarity. It's so beautiful. And it's like he's going to fight for it, right? He feels like the knight in shining armor to me that's going to come in and fight to rescue like this girl, right? But really he's going to give her the gift. He's going to give her the clarity, the key, so that she can set herself free, right? Because that's kind of the crux of this, right? I love that. That feels really awesome. That feels really awesome. It feels like the universe is in a good mood. The Strength card is like one of my favorite cards. I get this one a lot in my personal readings. The Strength card is Leo energy. I had referenced the Lionsgate 8-8 portal. That's coming up for me again. The card is number 8. It's funny because when I was talking about the Chariot, I was thinking about the Strength card as well. It's a very similar energy. So while the Chariot is really being kind of disciplined and self-controlled, right? The Strength card goes even further than that, where it's really about taming sort of your inner beast. It's about kind of overcoming ego to the point where like this, this lion who is could be this big ferocious thing and like chop this woman in half with its mouth, right? It's just like as happy as a house cat sitting next to her. So being able to take those ego thoughts, I was talking about this in the other reading about kind of not being enough or thinking that you don't deserve this breakthrough, being able to really recognize those thoughts for what they are. They're the thoughts that are trying to basically keep you away from love and keep you stuck in ego. But this woman on the Strength card, she's mastered that. She's mastered kind of overcoming. Excuse me, I need a drink right quick. She's mastered overcoming those voices within herself. So I feel like that's you. This is so funny. I'm like losing my voice a little bit. I feel like that's you. And that is sort of a spiritual protection against falling into this energy again. So I feel like that's part of the lesson if you are in this collective, is like once you get that illumination, being able to use that as like a stepping stone for your healing. Like I'm even drawn to the infinity symbol above her head is like illuminated, right? So it's kind of like she took that illumination energy and used it to heal, right? I love that. And she's turned it into like a permanent healing gift for herself. Do you have anything else you want to say to this collective? I feel like we might have one more card. We have two more. We have the Three of Swords and the Hanged Man. So I feel like the message of the Three of Swords and the Hanged Man in this reading is that there has been some sort of heartbreak for you. This could be like romantic heartbreak. It could be, something that happened with a friend, a family member. It could be that you lost a job, right? Or lost an opportunity. So it doesn't necessarily have to be romantic. But I feel like whatever is happening this week for you in this energy, if you're in this collective, it's helping you sort of flip the story around of this heartbreak, and be able to see it from a different perspective. So it's like something that was really hard and difficult for you, right? The thing that probably that heartbreak is the thing that put you in this Five of Pentacles energy, whatever that sadness and disappointment was, right? This illumination, this breakthrough that's happening helps you to put it into a different perspective, right? So the Hangman, the universe sort of forces him into this position where he's hanging upside down, but then he gets this halo around his head, again, talking about that illumination. And I think also with it being his head, it's like that mental realm, right? This really feels to me like it's something in your thoughts, like a thought system or maybe a belief system that you have that's going to be sort of turned around. So I feel like at the end of all of this, it becomes a gift to you. Whatever it was that happened that put you in that Five of Pentacles energy, whatever that sadness, that heartache was, becomes a gift to you that you can transcend with your healing. And really, it kind of catapults you forward into this Technicolor dreamland. It's like so beautiful. Well, let's pull. That's funny. I just looked at the clock and it's 22:22. Get a couple angel numbers. They fell right out. Oh my God, no way. That is so funny. I can't believe. All right, you guys, that is crazy. This deck must have like, I don't know, 50, 60, maybe more cards in it. I don't even know. Oh, it says right here, 56 cards. 56 cards. And I just said 22:22, and then this came out. So I was going to say, too, my birthday is on the 22nd, so it's really funny. Anyways, this number is extremely significant for this reading. So 22:22, feminine forces, relationships, balance, prosperity, efficiency, patience, humility. You can do everything by yourself, but life is to be shared. Partner up with the right spirit and you'll become a force. Honor commitments and people around. Don't judge, listen. That's interesting. Partner up with the right spirit. I love that. I don't know that I particularly felt like this reading was about partnership, but I feel like that's where you're headed. I feel like that's not going to seem like it resonates if you're in this collective. That's not going to feel... You're going to be like, that card's not for me. Because if you're in this collective, you're either still in that Five of Pentacles energy or you very recently have been in that energy. But don't forget that this is what's coming in, is that 10 of Cups in that Chariot. And I mean, look at this sweet card. They're like sitting together, right? I mean, that's partnership. And then that we have the Lovers here. That's really sweet. I love that. Partner up with the right spirit and you'll become a force. I feel like, yeah, this reading feels really powerful. I feel like whatever this clarity is for you, this breakthrough is going to be important for you moving forward into partnership. Or if you're already in a partnership, maybe moving to like a deeper level. If you're looking for one, maybe it will be that the person shows up, right? 1551, hold your vision. Manifestation, abundance, money, dreams, vision, and prosperity. Focus on the good and maintain your concentration on the outcomes you desire. It's time to put your faith and time into your ideas and pursue your goals with all your might. You have such a beautiful, courageous, and brave spirit. That's really lovely. That's bouncing off the Chariot and the Strength cards for me. I feel like that's part of their message is around manifestation, right? Being disciplined and able to kind of hold that vision and not spiraling into like the doubts or the ego thoughts and things like that. So, wow, that was so wild about the 2222. I feel like that's one of the coolest things that's happened in one of my readings. Anyways, I hope that this was helpful. If you are in this collective, I wish you the best healing this week. I hope you have a fantastic breakthrough. I'd love to hear about it in the comments if this resonates, and I hope to see you in my next reading. Bye.